Okay, done got her. Lift her up here. There. It's upside down, but you can see what I was talking about there. Got her all ground and started on the polishing on her. Tested it again, and I'm good. So she's burnt in, ground, cut, and polished. When I'm talking about polishing it, we kind of have our own system. I call it the trifecta. I make my cuts with the cutoff wheel. I do the hard shaping with a hard stone and get it started, get it rolling. I can make hard grind-ins. I can move a lot of metal with this. Then I polish it. And I polish it with the flapper. Of all the flapper discs that we've tried and used and everything, these work the best. I get them from Air Gas. I'm not sure where else you can get them. And you can see I buy them by the case. This is the reason I get the ones from Air Gas. There's a lot of discs there, and you notice they're flat. I like them flat. And you can see there, they're almost totally flat when you first start, and then after a while they gradually burn down on the edges because that's where they always burn down. But these last. These last and last and last and last. Those other ones that are taper fit, or you can grind off the edges and keep using them until it comes down, they're garbage. I burn through those so fast it ain't even funny. These ones though, these are, what are they? Tiger Big Cats. These ones, and Rasner makes one that's identical to this. These ones are a little more money. Between this one and the Rasner, I don't see a difference. The only reason I got these is because they were out of Rasners when I went in to get some more. That's another one of them. That's another Big Cat. That's another Wheeler Big Cat. And that's another one. I was going to show you the... Oh, there's one right there. That's the other brand. Radner, I guess. Anyway, they're identical to these, how do you pronounce that? Weiler. They're a little less money, but they look identical to these. And like I said, I use these Radners. I use these. I don't see any difference between the two. Just these are a tad bit cheaper. When they have them. Cutoff wheels, I use the crap out of. You can see, just Harbor Freight. Cheap cutoff wheels. For what, you get for them. I've tried these. I've tried the Hercules ones. Harbor Freight's newer ones. And haven't tried the Bowers yet, but I got a pack of them there. And I've tried the more expensive, or the Weilers and that. These are perfectly fine. I've never had them explode. I know there's a lot of things on the net. They're exploding. Let me take that back. I've never had one of these just explode. I've had them explode, but that was my fault. I watch people use these on the internet, on the YouTube, and they call them death wheels, spinning wheels of death. According to YouTube, if you touch this like this, it'll cut your head off. It's so dangerous. Not the way it is. Learn to use the tool. The biggest thing I can tell about these, always keep the sparks coming towards you. Sounds weird, but yeah, keep the sparks coming towards you as you're doing it, and just let the weight of the tool do the work. It takes a little while longer. I don't get in a hurry, and when you use a cutoff wheel, hold it with a light hand. Don't muscle it. When you're holding it, I hold it about that hard, and just enough to keep it in my hand, and just let the tool do the work. That wheel there, I've had on for quite a while. In fact, I got to change it because I did hit a bind on it. That was my fault. That's what happens when the sparks are going away from you. You get in there and it'll bind. I'm working the opposite rotation to it, and you get into spots like that and your brain says, oh, we're almost there, just keep going. And it catches a little and binds and it'll kick a little. It's done. Even though that looks like a brand new disc and looks like it's got a lot of life on it, I got to change that disc and throw it away. It's no good now. But if you always keep a light hand on it, I'm not saying let it fly out of your hand, and get a feel for it. Get a feel for the tool. Just let the weight of the tool make the cut, and just let it go, let it go, let it go. And I got a motion that I follow like this, like you're sawing through it, and just let it just glide through, and it'll you'll save on discs, and they don't explode. The only time they explode is when they bind a little, and then they chip, and yeah, they absolutely come apart. But oh, and one thing about those Harbor Freight ones, when you get them in a multi-pack like this, always check them when you get them, because I probably got one or two of them here. Sometimes in the factory, you see how it says metal? They make a mason one too. Sometimes from the factory, when they're stacking them all up, a mason disc will get mixed up in there. I've had that happen quite a few times. You buy a pack of, 10 of them, and 1 or 2 of them in there will be a mason disc. And you'll know as soon as it touches metal, it just goes, and it's gone. And then you look at it, and it was a mason disc thrown in with them. But that's the only problems I've had with them. And like I said, with the Harbor Freight ones, the Warrior brand, the only time I've had them explode is when it was my fault. It wasn't the tool's fault, it was my fault. And I'm very experienced with the cutoff wheel, but even I make mistakes with them. When your brain says, oh, come on, it's right there, just a little more, yeah, and that's when it goes boom. And yeah, I've trimmed my fingernails with them. Yeah, I've done all the stupid stuff with them. And you can see I cut without a guard. If you're new to this, don't do that. Leave the guard on. Just always make sure the sparks are coming towards you, because then you're in the right way of rotation. And just let the weight of the cutoff wheel, the grinder, make your cut, and you'll be fine. But okay, that's my little mini tool review. You can see we go through crap loads of them. Oh, and when they get down to this part right here, I use them for templates. My plasma cutter, if I need to cut a circle, I can lay that down, run my plasma right around the edge. Makes a nice curve or a nice circle. So that's why I keep a few of these burned up ones around, in case I have to do I want to do a notch or a round over like that. I can run my plasma around that, using it as a guide. But That's where I keep them around. The discs is because I'm a cheap some gun, and I know I can get a little more out of that, I guess. But anyway, that's that. These little furniture dollies, you can never have enough of them. Use them for all kinds of stuff. In fact, that's what that motor right there usually sets on. It's a chunk of plywood with 2 of those furniture dollies, and then it gets shoved back over there where that Turbo 350 is sitting now. But makes it easy. You drop them on the floor, wheel them over wherever you need, and store them, or stack them up until you got all kinds of stuff in your space and your shop builds up. And yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on this. Get down here now, and I'll start shaping them in with my hard stone, and then I'll polish it off with the flapper disc, and call it a night. Did definitely get 4 hours on it. In fact, I think I went a little bit over so far, but I got a little extra that I can do today, so I'll get on her. Alright, here we go.